Oops, hello. I'm on. I was just looking for my watch. Okay. Welcome to Martini Time. I'm your Martini Priest. And I thought I would talk to you about that today. A friend of mine came over today. He was showing me some YouTube clips, and there's a lot of crap out there. People are watching it. I was watching this one thing where it looks like some Australian kids young men were dropping a big arrow, a big missile off of a big tower that they had access to, and they would put stuff down on the ground over a hole to see if the arrow would pierce it, like stacks of wood and cardboard and whatever they could find, the pillows. And then they were all pumped up and screaming and yelling. And it was the Seinfeld skit. It was all about something about nothing. And yet it was interesting. I can't believe it. And you looked at the number of people that were watching it, and it was about nothing. Well, I'm about something. I'm over my, I think this is my 405th talk, okay, and I'm on Facebook Live. And so my friend said, well, I think, you ought to be on, well, I am on YouTube. I have my own channel, Ed Connolly, and all of my talks are on YouTube. And there were more before I started doing Martini Time. I've just done 404, 5, 6 Martini Time talks. So there's a lot on there, but I'm not getting any views, maybe 4, 5, 6 views on them. I look at this stuff on YouTube and a million, I don't know what, good Lord. And I've got 4, 5, 6. However, the other night when I did the Romance of the South, I don't know what happened. I must have dropped into some honey pit or something, but I've had so far about 700 views. My normal is I have about a base of about 25, 30, and then that will build up to about 70 to 100 over the next day or so. But this one, the Romance of the South, that just took off. So anyway, I want to create a YouTube channel. I don't know if my friend's right or not, but he said if you make a specific YouTube channel, so I'll make a YouTube channel called The Martini Priest. And then I'll give my Martini Time talks in the evening at happy hour, which is the time the priest should be out, 5 o'clock. And I'll have its own YouTube channel, The Martini Priest. And then, I don't know, if I can stream live to YouTube, and then make a MP4 out of that and put that onto Facebook. So instead of being live on Facebook, you would get the YouTube connection, which he said so people that watch it on Facebook would then be credited to my YouTube account. So anyway, if there's anyone out there who has a YouTube, knows anything about creating a YouTube account, that would like to message me or talk to me in some way, I would appreciate it, because I want to. I've got something valuable here. My content is unique. I know I'm not in any competition with any other priests. There are no other Martini priests out there, I assume, and I have the credentials. I was ordained by my uncle, and so I'm authentic Martini priest, and I don't have now because I've given a lot of them away, but I started out with a 500 glass Martini glass collection. So I'm keeping the good ones, and I've been giving the more average ones away. So don't tell anybody. Everyone thinks they're getting the Holy Grail. When people come and I give them a Martini glass, I say, did you see Indiana Jones? And yes, everybody's seen that. Well, one of these is the Holy Grail, so choose wisely. And they go, but it really is. As you know, I'm a metaphorical thinking. my meditation practice and my spiritual practice, or whatever you want to call it, has kind of like created that sixth sense. I see metaphors. And so Martini Priest is a metaphor. See, it's not a real priest, but then this is not the real Eucharist, but I prepare it like a priest. I mix the gin and the vermouth there, just like the priest puts the wine in the body of Christ and the blood of Christ, and he puts it in a chalice, and he gives you to drink of that, you see. So I prepare it, and I serve it, and it makes you feel good, and that's the Eucharist, should make you feel good. It just most people, they go, oh yeah, it's just tastes like, it's not even real food. It's a wafer and grape juice. It's a ritual, you see. So what the Eucharist has lost its alchemy. It's lost its mystery. Joseph Campbell said the worst thing in the world was he grew up a Catholic, and when the Catholic Council, I forgot which one, but they took away the Latin and put it in the local vernacular, and they turned the priest around. So he was preparing the Eucharist while facing the congregation, and Campbell said it made it look like a cook show with Julia Childs. You see, when the priest was back, it was mysterious. What's he doing there? And it was in Latin, so it was a mysterious thing. It was a ritual. You see, so it got changed to facts. When the metaphor, when the ritual, when the art loses its transcendence, its mystery, it just becomes facts, and it becomes dead. And that's what's happened to our world. We live in a wasteland. T.S. Eliot wrote about that. All the philosophers write about it. We live in a flat land. Everything's been flattened down to just facts, just things, just stuff. There's no metaphorical or mystery in anything pointing beyond. So when I say a Martini Priest, what does that mean? You see? Well, there's a martini, and then there's a priest. Well, what happens when you put them together? You see? What when you put them together, who puts a martini and a priest together? You see, a priest don't, well, maybe they do have a martini, but if it was a Protestant minister, well, you wouldn't have a martini, you see. So when you put two, it's called James Dunn. I studied English literature, James Dunn, John Donne, and they call his poetry conceits. A conceit was when you held together two contradictory opposites, but when you held them together, it created something different. So that's kind of like what a metaphor. It holds two opposite things together that you would never put together, and you put them together, and it makes something greater than the two, the one that is two. So if you put the martini and the priest together, you create something that is not martini or not priest. It's a Martini Priest. And it has a whole different meaning than martini or priest. That's a metaphor, you see. So that's Zen too. Zen's all metaphor. So the Zen master says, if you say this is a battery, you're wrong. If you say it isn't a battery, you're wrong. Now, which is it? Choose, or I'll hit you with it. You see? So if you say the battery is the negative pole, you're wrong. If you say the battery is a positive pole, you're wrong. You're wrong, you see. The battery is positive, negative. This is a metaphor. It's a metaphor of a metaphor. It holds the opposites together and turns on your light. You see, so the metaphor turns on your light because it holds opposites together in one unit. There are two, but one. But the one is transcendent of the two. So the martini and the priest are the positive and the negative. You put them together in me, and you have something that is not a martini and not a priest. It's something that is entirely new. It never existed before. I have never existed before. You have never existed before. You are entirely new. The whole cosmos, from the Big Bang to now, has never had a you. You see? You are unique. You are the center of the world, and the world is you. But we don't see it that way. We see it flat. Oh, there's you, that, and that, and that. And it's just a bunch of billiard balls bumping around again on a billiard table. That's the Newtonian universe. Just a bunch of billiard balls bumping around, and they don't move unless you have a cue stick. Unless you have some external force, the billiard balls will just sit there. So we think that about ourselves. We say, well, I can't move unless God gives me the inspiration, or unless I get motivated. Something has to motivate me, or else I'll just go, you see. We think we're like a machine. We have to be turned on by something else. We don't realize that we are a creator inside. We don't realize that we're creating the world we live in, that you live in. I mean, I don't create the world you live in. You create the world you live in. When we're born, we create a world, we live in it, and when we die, we take it with us. But that creator, you see, that creator is eternal. That creator is universal. That creator that dwells within you as you is the universal creator that is deathless, you see. That's what we want to find. It's not out there. It's not up there. It's not down there. It's not in the guru. It's not in the statue. It's not in the Bible. It's not in God. It's not in anything. Because it's you. My guru, Swami Muktananda, where is he? He's on the wall over there. Yeah, I used to say, God dwells within you as you. That's a revolutionary statement. God dwells within you, not as something, not as a soul, not as a spirit, as you. As you see. But then you look around, well, I feel like I'm God. They're going to put me in a nut house. Who do you think you are, God? Well, that's not it. It's not dwelling in you as something, as you see. But we don't even know who I am. You see, I think I'm something. Well, you're not. You are something, but you're not something. That's the metaphor. You see, you are a thing, but you're not a thing. You are the creator of things. You are the creator of your world. Everything we see, everything I see, you see, is within my experience. So all experience. I look at that, I look at this, I look at you. It's all in my experience. It's my experience. Inside, I experience my thoughts, feelings. Outside, I experience you. I see things. Outside, inside, it's all one world, like a coin with two faces. But our world, we separate the coin and say, well, the outside is the outside, and the inside is the inside, and never the twain shall meet. Well, the Martini Priest puts things together. The Martini Priest is an integrating principle, let's put it that way. MacGyver, you like that TV show? That is a integrating principle. That TV show, MacGyver, is a metaphor for the aroused mind that does not rest on anything. Even Jesus said that. He said, Son of Man has no place to rest his head. Prajna in Zen is the aroused mind that has no form to rest on. The integrating mind, the awakened mind, does not rest and attach itself to any form and says this form is it and it's fixed and it'll never change. That's a conservative. When form is fixed, when form is frozen, when we attach to it, we freeze ourselves, And we name ourselves and we define ourselves. That's what I talked about last night in the direct Declaration of Independence. So, the Martini Priest then is a declaration of independence for me. So when I come here, I'm free from names. I'm free from political correctness. I'm free from the known. So in my talk, I create what I don't know. I don't know I'm going to say this. You see? But I trust, I have the intention, I have the trust that I will, that my talk my word, my voice, has the intention to integrate. And the intention to integrate means the intention to unify our reality into a coherent, sane reality where everything fits. If nothing fits, then integrate it. If nothing fits in your life, don't exclude it, don't reject it, don't repress it, integrate it. Integrate it. Welcome it. If you have anxiety, welcome it. If you have any kind of negativity, welcome it. You see, the battery, what did I do with it? So here's positive. Say, only have positive thoughts. Don't have negative thoughts. Well, the battery won't work if you just have a positive pole. The battery, as a metaphor, integrates positive and negative. And by integrating positive and negative, you come up with light. You come up with awareness. You come up with freedom. You come up with liberation. You come up with a Martini Priest. So anyway, if any of you have any advice for me or help, give me a call. And thanks for dropping in. And I'll see you tomorrow or tomorrow evening at happy hour. Good.